actually enhance the game itself, which a lot of what I've seen so far anyway, a lot of the add-ons and stuff, they've been just doing like costume packs, or maybe there's like a side Coliseum mission or something where you just pretty much, it's not like something that adds to the story per se. It's kind of just like stuff to keep you playing around with the game's gameplay systems so much, not so much.
That's what I meant when I was talking about all the the Borderlands stuff. Is like all the or the story chapters of like that stuff that we got. It's like that'd be cool if we could get some of that was packaged in a games as a service style.
See, yeah, right now like a lot of the RPG stuff and even like Street Fighter costumes and things like that, they're what I refer to as like the idiots. It's like there are idiots out there and they will buy it. So, if they're gonna buy it anyways, why don't we just put it out there and have them give us money? It's like my $6 piece of armor. I would never spend $6 on armor in a game, but clearly someone out there will. So, but if you're gonna seriously do a free to play and actually really engage your customers, I think one of the crucial elements is that your customers have to like you. You can't do dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, somebody should tell Square Enix that.
Well, Square Enix feels very behind on the times. They do realize that in order for people to buy their games, they have to release them.
Yeah, that too. So, yeah.
Ooh. The IDOS side seems to be doing well.
Well, that's because they've been steadily releasing their stuff, whereas Square Enix has been... I'm not sure what they've been doing, but
yeah. Yeah, like when I look at development tools the way they are today, it is so easy to make new content for things.
I mean, I guess since you already have like all the stuff there, just.
The only thing that's stopping the new content is just the art.
The what?
Art assets. That's pretty much it. I think that's what's stopping next gen from coming.
Wait, how do these engines work for like next gen consoles and stuff? Is it just like they work based on whether or not the consoles can like compute this stuff, or is it like some kind of I'm not completely sure how, because I don't they like when they showed off these new engines like the Unreal Engine 4 or whatever and all this stuff, aren't they just like playing them off of computers or something? It's not like
no, because like the tech and graphics card today just outmatch the current ones now, or current consoles. Like anything they could do on the current the current graphics card, the latest ones, like just blow shit out of the water. That's why, I don't know. That's why new consoles, I don't know. That's why who was that said that was like the last generation of consoles? Was it David Jaffe? Could be true.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Because all it is it's just new tech. It's just new the way how the shaders work, more polygons, more pixel frame fill rates. Like that's all it is. It's not a new. Who knows if it's gonna be a new experience? If we're gonna get the same shit over and over again.
That's true. Because I mean, really, what they're gonna have to start resorting to gimmicks if they try to start selling more hardware.
Because just imagine like that Luminous was it Luminous demo. It looks great. But we said the same thing about Final Fantasy 13 when they first showed it.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's pretty crazy if games really do look like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Right. Could a console actually?
To me, it's like the whole like PS3 Sony conference that year, Killzone, Final Fantasy 13. It's like, dude, fooled me once. Shame on me. It ain't happening again, dude.
No, but it is happening. Games can look great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on a PC.
Sure.
On a PC.
Well, currently.
But that's what I'm saying. Would they be able to make a console that can do that kind of stuff, or are we pretty much just it's going to be a PC?
A console is basically a PC. It's just smaller for the most part.
And what's great, the only good thing about consoles is like everything is the same. Nothing is changing.
Yep.
It always stays the same year after year until that 10-year cycle of bullshit.
Although we didn't even get to 10 years this time, did we?
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're way farther along than usual.
Oh.
We're 6 for PS3.
6 and 7, yeah.
Yeah, 6 and 7.
Oh no, because when was the PS2 released?
2000?
Yeah.
Oh. That was about because PS3 came out in what, 2006, 7-ish, somewhere around there?
6.
So it's about the same thing then.
Well, except they haven't even talked about a PS4 yet.
There's no announcement.
Whereas PS3 was announced in 2004, I think.
But I know it's weird that developers are like, "Oh, here's Unreal Engine 4, here's Luminous."
Yeah, I was about to say, but everybody showing off their.
They want to use these new engines, but it's like.
Some homes are like, dude, we haven't recouped our cost yet.
No, I think what it is like this generation, Unreal got out really early. Like they were sort of the first people out there shopping their engine around. And the thing is, like, it takes time to make a game. So if you want to be at launch, you need to be able to, have 2 or 3 years to work on your game. And so, like, right now, if people are thinking about going next gen in 2 years or whatever, like, they're out looking for tools, unless they want to make their own, which most people won't. So Epic, like, most of Epic's money actually came from engine licensing.
Mm. So
they gotta, that's why it's important for them to show it off right now. So people look at it and it's like, oh, that's the one I want to use. I don't know why Square Enix is showing their thing. That's just
do they ever? I just want to say, do they even like license their engines?
Well, like Unreal Engine 4, like showing that off, that's really important for them right now. That's why they did it at GDC. That's why they do it at E3. So people see it.
The only thing that's important for me, it's like, did you fix the fucking texture popping? That's it. It's like, I don't care if you're doing particles or bullshit. Does it look like it could run? I don't know. Like that was my main beef with Unreal Engine 3 for all these years. Even when I'm playing Mass Effect 3, it looks like dog shit on PC.
For a second.
Wait, what other engines?
It looks okay.
Are other people licensing engines out? Or because the only one I ever hear about is Unreal Engine and
Unreal 3.
Yeah, Crysis, Crytek does it. In the PS2 days, the most common engine was Renderware, and that was developed by Criterion, who eventually made Burnout. So like all the Grand Theft Autos were made on Renderware. And it was crazy, like when Criterion was bought by EA, everyone was like, oh my gosh, now they're going to get all this money from their Renderware games. But apparently Renderware for current gen, at the time next gen, didn't pan out.
Whoops.
And so they didn't get it. It all became Unreal Engine 3.
Yeah,
and the thing with engines is like, it makes it so much easier to make games.
So then why do some companies even bother going through the trouble of making these new proprietary engines just to use for like...
It depends on what you want to do.
They like to waste money.
Yeah, like if you just want to make a game, like if you have an idea for a game, chances are you don't want to worry about memory and like optimizing and stuff like that. So you go out and you get one of these engines and it does all of that for you. But then, like Final Fantasy, like Square Enix making Crystal, or was it White Engine? Yeah, whatever.
Crystal Tools.
I think what they wanted to do is like, we want to have this thing and it just pushes out the amazing graphics that we're known for. And we want it to be multi-platform. So, depending on what you want to accomplish, you might go out and make your own engine.
But it seems so... Because, I mean, but look how long it took them to do that, and then release just 2 games from the engine they probably spent, like, years working on. It's like, what was even...
Well, again, like, stuff happens very kind of slowly in the games industry. I mean, before, I mean, think about all their games before Final Fantasy X. Every single game
There were no games before Final Fantasy X.
Every single game used its own engine. They made 1 game per engine.
That seems...
like, I mean, well, at the time...
But they were cranking them out like no tomorrow.
Yeah, they were coming out like every other year or something back then, though.
It was easier to make an engine back then. Now your engines, like, have physics and all this random stuff. So it's gotten harder. I guess, you know, there's a lot of factors. It's like, do you want to pay Epic for every copy of the game that you sell? Like, maybe that's not economical for you, and maybe you have a bunch of really smart engineers. It's like, you know what, we'll just make our own, and then you don't have to pay them. Yeah, it depends on what you want to do. Like, right now, for me, I don't know any low-level programming. So if something like Unity is like, well, Unity is free, or I could go out and get this other one and it's like $100. Like, that's really cheap for me not having to do any of that stuff.
Let's see.
Yeah, just so you guys know, I created like that whole thing.
Bastard.
I just about to say, I think you legally have to tell us before you do
well,
it.
you guys were like talking about like the whole single player, like the whole single player like thing of like the games and services. I didn't like want to leave it out, so I was like, let me press record in case like any good nuggets come out. And you know, like then like the whole tangent of like game development came up. I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. So you know, just so you know that whole thing, I finally got like a decent like deleted scene for Aimless podcast.
Sweet.
Wow, you're a douche.
During the break, stuff we talk about and stuff.
I feel so used and violated.
Let me know when you're ready to talk about the news so I can push stop.
You're still recording.
Still going.
Fantastic. It's gonna stop talking now. It's not gonna stop.
Oh, I guess a quick aside. What I was talking about with Final Fantasy is, I think it's really smart that they're starting to make more games with the same engine.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, I think Final Fantasy X was the first one where they made 10.2, and then now with 13, they made 13.2. It's like, if they're going to make 13.3, and I know some people are going to buy it, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. You should totally do it.
Wait,
they shouldn't do it. They should do Kingdom Hearts 3 instead.
Oh, gamer, that would make sense. They can't do that. It'd be all...
Well, it depends. If they can use Crystal tools to make Kingdom Hearts 3, then they should do that.
Because, I mean, they've only used it for 2 games. Might as well do something with it.
Well, they're going to work it on 3 for Versus, aren't they? Crystal's for Versus as well.
They said they were using the Luminous one for Versus, from my understanding.
I think they scrapped
Luminous?
it.
Yeah, Luminous is for next gen, isn't it?
No, they started like Luminous on Versus, but then they realized we'll just hold it off for next gen. Then they switched over to Crystal.
Okay.
Oh, because I just want to say, because I know I saw an interview somewhere where the guy was like, yeah, we're using our new proprietary engine or something. I was like, why are you making a new engine? Didn't you just make a new engine for Final Fantasy 13? So,
well, I think maybe they are, because they did say it did scale the Luminous engine to mobile platforms. So who knows? I'm just tired of just waiting. It's like, just release something, because your company is being held up by IDOS.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty much like, had it not been for their Hitmans and their Tomb Raiders and all the thousands of other games they actually released that Square Enix didn't, they would have been screwed.
Yeah, what was
it?
What was the last Square game that came out? Was it the 13? Was it 13.2?
It was 13.2.
That was in January.
There's Theater Rhythm. That was a Square Enix.
I mean,
Oh no, because like when the game opens, there's a couple more companies, so maybe not.
They usually have other people handle their.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you mean in house, right? Right, Tropical. In house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And before that, I think 13 was the last one before that one. So it's been.
Well, no, they released 14.
I forgot all about that mess of a release.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious that that's not in the 8 rhythm. I was like, ha, it's like...
horrible.
For like, I don't know, for engine-wise, like, why not just use Unreal Engine 3 for next gen? Why not? It's gonna be higher res, like higher frame rate, 60 frames, like no problem. Because it would be looking great, motion blur and everything. Huh?
Because then you can't charge more for it.
Actually, I imagine there will be Unreal Engine 3 games on next gen.
Yeah, the start like launch. Yeah.
Because you'll be able to do crazy amounts of
Star Wars. That Star Wars 1313 game was using Unreal Engine 3, just heavily modified, but it was using that engine. It's like, I don't know. It's like PC's the future.
So wait, every time somebody sells one of these games using these engines, they have to pay the company like a royalty kind of thing?
Not royalty. License.
It depends on the license that you bought it. Some of them you do have to pay.
Royalty bullshit.
I think most of them don't have royalties anymore though. Or I think Unreal Engine is like once you pass a certain number of sales, then you owe royalties.
Oh man, that's
I can't remember, but yeah, most of them now, like Unity doesn't have royalties, I don't think. I think that one's only if you have, I think it's $100,000 income last year, then you have to buy a pro version, and you can't use the free one.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot. It's really changing. I really like it actually. iPhone, because they have their developer license at $100. Now everything is $100. So if you want to develop on PlayStation Mobile, it's $100. If you want to develop for Windows Store, I think it's only going to be $50. And before, like, you couldn't get these tools for that kind of price. You had to, like, thousands and thousands of dollars to get your tools.
Oh, I have to make that fart app somehow.
You can do that. I don't want to know, Gabriel.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of garbage.
Oh, he's not lying about that.
I mean, that's like the only thing that's, I don't know. It's great that these indie developers even get a chance.
Yeah.
Compared, like, to be alongside the big guys, but.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that's changed.
It's just too bad, like, Microsoft is hiding them in a corner. It's like, why?
That one's garbage now.
At least, like, Sony's like, oh, here's Dyad, here's Sound Shapes, here are the indies. Like, it's nice. Then, like, Steam announcing, oh, wait, that's news. Greenlight. It's great, good news.
Yep.
And it's on $60.
Wow. If next-gen games are $70...
I'm going to stop gaming.
No thanks.
I think there might be a collapse. I don't think people could take it.
Didn't you mean the gaming industry is doomed?
No, I think it's not doomed unless they change. Like,
they have to change it. They have to do the games as service.
Yeah, that's true. They would be kind of backed into a corner.
I guess it's kind of like how PlayStation and Xbox are right now. I mean, if PlayStation, objectively, I don't know, maybe objectively, it seems to be the better system, and yet everyone talks about Xbox mostly. Why? Because more people play Xbox. So, what's the point of $70 games and only a few million people play it? It's like, it doesn't matter to the culture because most of the culture can never experience it.
It's true. Which reminds me, did they ever discuss Wii U game prices, or
Not yet.
just...
Man, there is no way that's gonna be $60. God.
I think some of them are. I imagine
That might break me. I might have to say no, thank you to Wii U.
Because I'm curious to see how. Yeah, because I'm curious to see how they play this. Because now that they're taking the whole going first thing, and if we're considering the Wii U their next gen console, then I mean, Sony and Microsoft are going to have a big old heads up on. Well, see what they're doing. Let's go ahead and.
I think predictions. Zombie U might be $60. Any of the third-party ports of games are going to be $60. Or depending on how old they are. I think Batman might be $50.
Man, they're going to be crazy if they sell that for $60.
Yeah, I think Zombie U is going to be $60. And then Nintendo games themselves, depending on the games, I think are going to be $50 and $60.
I think if they're porting stuff, they should at least be in like the 30 or 40 range. Because I mean, you're porting a game that's probably been out for years at this point, and it's like
even the Game of the Year edition of Batman is $50. But I think their execs might look at it and be like, well, this is an enhanced version, so we don't have to drop it to 30 or 40. We can still do 50. Some people will buy it, and then quickly, sort of like all the launch port games on every console. They start off at the same price as everything else. Some people buy it. The rest of us just are like, you're crazy. And then it drops really quickly.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting winter holiday thingy.
Totally forgot about Wii U. Well, guess I'm not.
Most people did.
Considering one of those.
Most people did.
I'm not buying it. No fucking way.
I'm going to be playing it Ouya in March.
Oh, boy. Well, thankfully, they haven't really showed anything that makes me want to believe that a Wii U is like a necessary purchase, so I'll be okay for now.
It'd be nice if Zombie U is multi-platform.
Well, they'd have to change the name, because the other consoles don't have U in them. So.
Zombie X and
Zombie 3.
If only it was like spelled BII and then U. That would have been even worse.
That would have been awesome. They should.
It's
Zombie.
U.
It's like, who would want to play that on a 360 or PS3?
Nobody.
Gamer, have you tried DayZ?
No, I have to get armor though.
Yeah, me too.
I want to try it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Even though the recent changes they did though scare me off though. The one where
it's like you don't start with the gun.
Start with no gun, barely any supplies.
Well, that's kind of how it is in a real apocalypse.
No, because before it used to be you spawn with a gun, a handful of supplies that'll keep you alive for probably a couple of days. But this time it's like you're trying to scavenge and you have no gun, which is crazy because like people are scared because sometimes you would run out into a field and you see another guy. Then before it would be like sort of cool. It's like, oh, friendly? Like, yeah, I'm friendly. Like, wait. But now this time it's like because it's so hard to come by with supplies, people just shoot you on the spot.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, isn't that kind of like the point of simulating a survival situation? Though, because it's like
it's kind of difficult for new people to get into if they're just gonna get shot on sight. It's like, what's the point?
Those are people I don't want on my team. I'm in the middle of an apocalypse.
That turns it into a free for all deathmatch with zombies all around.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's how
I really love the concept. I just wish it was like because it's like an alpha patch or something.
Yeah, it's really early.
Oof. If it was the actual game itself, then sign me up because man.
It was funny because I was watching IGN. They had a video. I forget which two of them, but they were playing it, and they had never, like, only one of them had ever gotten an axe before, and that was the only weapon he ever had, and the other guy had just never found a weapon before. And then they were really excited because 30 minutes into the video, they found a barn, and inside was a bunch of guns, and like, oh, should we take the shotgun or the rifle? And I was like, well, we'll test them out. So they took the shotgun outside, and they found a zombie, and they basically had to shoot. They unloaded. They had 4 rounds, and they ended up with 1. And it's like, okay, we should get the rifle because it's like longer range, and then, if you miss, then you can reload and stuff, and and it comes with more bullets. So they took it outside and just being very ecstatic because it was the first time they ever found a gun. They just shot the first zombie that they saw. I was like, yeah, the rifle's good. We're gonna keep the rifle. And then suddenly, like, there's icons on the side that show how much noise you're making and how many zombies how visible you are. And suddenly they get attacked from behind. It's like, what the heck? Turn around and like, there's 10 zombies there, and they run in DayZ. And yeah, you just had to start running. It's like, yeah, so this is the disadvantage of guns because they make a lot of noise. So basically, when we shot that zombie, being all trigger happy, all the zombies in town heard it.
We invited his friends.
But it's a dangerous game because it's like hardcore mode in the Diablo 3 where because there was this guy I was listening to. He was 21 days alive in the game. And he had like a silenced rifle or something. So it was like crazy gear. And he just got shot.
Oh.
So he lost everything. It's like, man, that is so brutal. But at the same time, it's like, that's the game.
Yeah. They were talking about some people on servers, they would like band together and form these little camps. And then essentially have one person online at every time, at all times during the day to guard the camp.
So everybody can take out
so
the
other
rotations
players wouldn't scavenge it.
Well, it's smart in a way, and that's how people would behave in extreme situations. It's like you don't want to lose your resources and everything when they're so hard to come by. So
man, that's hardcore.
Because I will shoot you.
All right, let's go through some news.
Let's do that.
All right, let me stop with the record.
So Techno, stop
I was
violating me.
I forgot. He wasn't shot. He was looking at his map, and then a zombie came up and got him in the back.
That's even worse. Like after all that trouble.
Crazy. Like you don't heal. You have to bandage your wounds.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just bleed out.
But if you were
like, I have no bandages.
And, you could also repair like vehicles. I saw this one video where they repaired a helicopter, but it was inside a hangar, and no one knew how to fly it. So like when they're trying to take it out, it hit the hangar and it crashed. It's like, oh man, all that time taking out those parts and shit, like just went down the drain.
Why didn't anybody think about that before they all jumped into the helicopter?
Because it's Arma, right? So it's a simulation. So it's like, oh, this is how you should really fly a helicopter. That's hard.
Yeah. Just like in real life.
I
would jump into a helicopter with people I didn't know if they didn't know how to fly one.
The Steam sale is supposed to be happening in 12 hours. So if Arma 2 is cheap, I'm going to pick it up.
Man.
It's a trap.
Oh, really? Is it that huge one that has, like, all the Batmans and stuff?
The summer sale? Yeah.
Oh.
That's a theory. That's like the theory that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. It's like, oh, man. Summer sale. It's crazy.
Hey, I get paid tomorrow. For the
Summer
first time
sale.
in 2 weeks.
On a Thursday?
Yeah, I get my paycheck on Thursday.
It's weird. I get paid this Friday. You
Yeah.
fix that.
It was neat when I worked because we had different paycheck days.
Yeah, we do too.
What?
Ours is on Thursday and Fridays.
How does that even work? They just
Some people
like,
get
this
paid
week I feel
Thursdays,
like-
some people get paid Fridays.
Well, it's basically like every week we would get a paycheck, either mine or my wife's. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Unfortunately, both Ashley
What's that? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was very choppy.
It was. Okay, so basically, Ashley and I both get paid the same time, like every 2 weeks. It sucks.
Oh. You deplete your funds to nothing and then, respite.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, 'cause I
Well,
had to
my
change
paychecks were basically, yeah.
This whole having a budget thing isn't fun at all. I need the slow season to be over. It's not. It's very unpleasant.
Okay, news.